This is Dennis live on location here at the Sophia Recovery Center with Julie Atkinson. Good afternoon, Julie.
Good afternoon, Dennis.
Tell us your role with the Sophia Recovery Center here in St. John.
Well, I'm the executive director. So Sophia Recovery Center is a not-for-profit. We've been around for 15 years, and for the last 4 years, I have been in the role of executive director, so kind of managing overall program direction, paying the bills, talking to donors, reporting to our funders, things like that.
I'm here on site at your new location on Main Street here in the north end of the city, and it is just beautiful. And your previous location was toward the Uptown on Hazen Street. Tell me about the transition.
Yes, the Two Sisters of Charity founded Sophia Recovery Center as their own small project and a way they wanted to give back to the community in 2008, and they rented a ground floor apartment on Hazen Street, and that's how Sophia began. Over the years, the programs developed, expanded, and particularly in the last 4 years, I would say the numbers of women reaching out for help really were going up and up, and the space wasn't getting any bigger, and it began to be a challenge to meet the needs just within that small space. So we started looking around for a larger space, and initially we just thought that we would rent something larger, but it was really difficult at that time to find anything that made sense for us as a rental property. And so the board decided that what needed to happen was to launch a capital campaign to raise some funds so that we could own our own property that would meet the needs of the organization for the long term.
And then be able to expand if necessary.
Exactly. So we already were in a situation during the pandemic that we were having to make compromises on how many women we could support and in what ways we could support them. We knew it was still not enough, and so we wanted to be able to do all of the different kinds of support services that we know help women stay well.
Let's talk about those services. What is the mission of Sophia Recovery Center? What is it that you're all about?
We're all about helping women maintain good substance use health or recovery from addiction for the long term. So we work with women no matter where they're starting from in that journey, whether they have a very deep-seated and long-standing struggle or whether they are someone who's just becoming curious about their substance use and whether it's healthy for them. We meet them where they are, offer them different kinds of supports, and that could include meeting with a peer who has similar lived experience who can kind of support and empower a woman to make changes in whatever way she wants. It could be connecting them to counseling, therapy with a professional. It could be joining group programs and workshops, learning about different things that may have happened to them, trauma, relationships, self-image, lots of things that have happened to women that have contributed to their struggle with substances, and lots of social and wellness programs too, where they can just become healthier versions of themselves over time. But it is a journey and it does take time. So it's not the case that women come in, they do 2 or 3 things and then they're fixed and they're all good to go. It generally is just about settling into a process of change. We provide that open-ended support so women can keep coming as often as they need to and for as long as they need to until they feel ready.
Part of an extended family, so to speak.
Yes. For sure, yeah.
I like how you place that because I do have some friends that have gone through recovery. It may be a different thing, but it's all about maintaining their new lifestyle, trying to avoid those same pitfalls that they had before. And let's face it, these past few years have been really, really difficult for a lot of people. But did you find that there was an increase of the clients that you had during that time frame?
Definitely there was an increase. So there were new women reaching out during that period who'd never maybe struggled before, but also quite a few women who had established a degree of recovery who found the situation of the pandemic where they were isolated and cut off from other forms of social support fell back a little bit and needed some additional support through the pandemic. And women encountered a lot of extra burdens during the pandemic that those are risk factors for addiction. And we definitely are still coping as a community with the impact of all of the things that we needed to do to keep ourselves safe from COVID.
Where does the process begin for a person? Like they've identified that they have an issue that they need to take care of. Can you walk me through the process from the beginning to, where they walk through the doors at Sophia?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's different for every single person, and because that is a very important thing about this field is that the seeds of addiction start differently for each person. But for most women, there would be a a process of learning about the support services that exist in the community. So that could be talking to a loved one. And that's usually what we hear, is that a sister or a mom or another close friend said, I'm going to help you find help. That is the most common pattern. Or when a woman walks through the door, the very first thing we do is say, how can we help you? Do you want to go sit down and talk about this? Do you just want to walk around the center and see what it's like and go away and think about it? It's very individualized.
Tell me about the training that your staff have in relation to being able to deal with your clients and give them the help that they need.
The staff that work here in this center are all peer mentors, and they've gone through a training program to become certified as peer support workers. And that training covers a lot of different things around boundaries, trauma-informed care, mental health. There's about 16 modules, and it generally takes them a couple of months working through that curriculum to complete it.
Initially, Sophia Recovery Center was founded by the Sisters of Charity.
The sisters were instrumental in getting it off the ground and have continued to be a huge support to the center ever since. So, but it was two individual Sisters of Charity, Sister Arlene Brawley and Sister Mary Beth McCurdy, who are women in recovery themselves. So they lived the challenge and they lived the overcoming and wanted to provide that support, particularly for women in our community, because they saw that the support services that were available locally were oriented towards men and weren't always safe spaces for women. And they understood that addiction impacts women differently than it does men. And so they knew that the community needed this, that women needed something more than what was being offered. And they made it just their life's work from that point on was to get Sophia off the ground and to make sure women had that space here in St. John.
That's a great story. The fact that they lived both sides of the conversation. What would you like people in the city of St. John and surrounding area to know about Sophia?
Struggles with substance affect most families, and from all walks of life, and for hundreds and thousands of different reasons. This struggle will come into many families' experience. And when that happens, it is tempting to not seek help. There's a lot of barriers to seeking help, but help is available. Support is available, and it can be very sensitively delivered, very individualized, in an environment where nobody will judge you for having this challenge in your family or yourself personally.
Tell us how people can get in contact or perhaps help if need be.
Yeah, well, thank you for spending the time to talk to me, Dennis. Yes, people should go to our website or our Facebook page, one or the other, to find out more about our programs and also about ways to support us. We are not-for-profit, so we do have to bring in a fair bit of money every year just to pay our bills, to pay our staff, to deliver the programs. So we very much appreciate it when community members are able to help us in that way.
Well, you're doing a great work in the city. Just real quickly, you told me, how many clients did you serve last year?
It was around 500 women that walked through the doors or who accessed our services online.
The Sophia Recovery Center is part of the community pledge for K100, and we're so glad to help bring a little bit of a spotlight to your organization and to the work that you do. So thank you so much for the tour. We wish you all kinds of goodness. The need is great and the work is great. So thank you so much for being here for the residents of St. John's surrounding area.
This is wonderful. Thank you.